I'd like to welcome you to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name is?
Dominique Stevenson.
Miss Stevenson, what have you been up to?
I've been busy doing work in the prisons, still working with folks inside and folks outside coming out of prison.
Well, I wanted to take a minute and just thank you for all of your hard efforts. You had a success not long ago. You were a part of a success.
Big success, yeah. I was a part of a success, yeah.
Take me back to before the success happened. Were there any moments where you had doubt?
No.
You knew it?
Yeah.
Years ago?
Yes. I think that's the important part, that if we want to change things, we really have to believe in what we're working for and working towards.
One other question. America incarcerates 25% of the world's inmates, 44% of whom are black men, when black people only constitute 13% of the U.S. population. Any thoughts on mass incarceration?
White supremacy. It plays into the hand of white supremacy. It plays into capitalism. You know, black folks in urban centers have become obsolete as far as capitalism is concerned. There's no industry here. There are no jobs for us. And so they've produced an industry, the prison industry, which employs, to some degree, some working class black folks, but also in rural areas, mostly white people.
Gone from 300,000 inmates maybe 25 years ago to 2.3 million today. Mr. Eddie Conway, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
We are so glad to put this camera on you here, Shaking Base. Any thoughts on Miss Stevenson there?
Yes, I appreciate the support not only from Miss Stevenson, but from all the people throughout the city and around the country and the world that helped me gain my freedom. And I'm here in the community right now to kind of like return that faith that they had in me and my case and my cause by supporting something that I think is like really important down in the community in terms of mothers who have lost their loved ones, their children, their siblings, etc. And I think people need to come out and give that more support.
The word on the street is you talked to a lot of inmates and tried to give them some wisdom, some education, some encouragement, a shot of hope. Is that true?
Yes, I've worked with prisoners since from the day I got incarcerated, locked up in prison, captive. And I worked with them all the way up until the last day that I left, and that's been a total of 44 years.
Black president, Barack Obama. I don't think they had no presidents 44 years ago. World's changed a bit. What's next?
Well, I don't know that it had changed a bit at all. I mean, you could put a black face on an emperor, but it's still an emperor. The empire exists. People are still oppressed. Our conditions have gotten worse, continue to get worse. I think we need to find a solution to our problem down here on the ground. We can't wait for them to create an hierarchy that might have a black color when it doesn't deliver any black goods.
Well, we're about to get this march going here at the corner of Pennsylvania and Pitcher. Any thoughts for the community?
Yes, you need to come out and organize and work with the community and work with the people in the community to build a stronger community and to help decrease the violence and put in a demand for jobs, because part of the reason for the violent culture is the fact that there's no employment in the communities and people have to do whatever they need to do to survive and feed themselves and pay their rent. If we could find an alternative way of doing that other than having low intensity warfare on the community streets, then that's what we should be organizing to do.
I guess I should ask you before closing out, because we talk about the prison complex on Be More News all the time. You know the stats. We make up almost half the prisons. Black women, fastest growing demographic. It's war on the community. Any thoughts? Mass incarceration.
Well, obviously the mass incarceration has been put, that whole concept is based on the fact that the prison system grown from the time I was incarcerated 40 years ago, from 500,000 people to now to almost 2.5 million people. and it's replacing the unemployment. I mean, there's no jobs. The jobs left the community. The jobs at Fisher Bodies or Sparrows Point or Merlin Dry Dock or Black and Decker, all of those jobs that went overseas or were offshored that black people worked at and no longer work at, have created the conditions in which we're unemployed. But they also created a condition in rural white communities where they're unemployed, and the solution in America's white supremacist mind was to put prisons in the rural communities and staff them by the rural populations that was unemployed, and put us in the prison cells and staff them by the rural urban community that's unemployed. So it was an employment solution after the jobs went offshore. And we're the victims of that because we still remain on the bottom of the rim, and people are still using us as they did during slavery to build economic wealth in America for certain segments of America.
What can people do to assist you in your efforts in the community?
Well, we're organizing in the community. We organize something called a Coalition of Friends, where we have people come together. We do that out of the American Friends Service Committee in Baltimore. If people want to get in contact, they can get in contact with the American Friends Service Committee. The phone number is 410-323-7200. And they can come on board and help us organize. We're building a library in Connections High School. We're working in the Gilmore projects. We're building an urban farm in the city. And we're doing outreach to the prison population in the Jessup region and other regions.
Good deal. Thank you very much for your time. And this is one of, we pray, many, many interviews in the future. Keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.